With new defensive coordinator Durante Jones, the Washington Commanders have a glaring need in the defensive backfield. It might be an OSHA violation, considering we have such a big safety problem. BIB Draft HQ safety prospects for the Washington Commanders. I'm going to enjoy this one so more than the usual. Flip. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers of all ages, welcome back to BIB Draft HQ here on the Ballin and Burgundy podcast, your one-stop shop for all things draft content related to your Washington Commanders. It's JD John Dowd back at it again. And as you see on the thumbnail, as you see in the title, I had to bring back a guest that we did defensive tackles with. I had to bring back my guy, Josh, a.k.a. Metro Sports. My guy, what's happening?
How you guys doing? I'm doing good. Senior Bowl is going on right now, so we're getting to see some of these safeties make some plays out there. Got a lot of good safeties in this draft class. Like, we're talking, there's a guy in the first round. We'll get to him in a second. There's a number of guys on that day 2 to day 3 range that could be 5+ year NFL guys. So happy to be here. Happy to talk about these safeties. I said let's hop into it, man.
Hey, let's have us a good time, guys. Before we do that, hit that subscribe button here on BIB. We're on the road to 1,000 at 910 subscribers, so we're 90 away from the big 1000. So tell a friend and hit that subscribe button here on BIB. But like you said, let's hop right into it. The clear-cut, very highly regarded, could be the best athlete in the first round, the best BPA player in the first round, that if you're talking 1 to 15, every team might want. It's Ohio State's Caleb Downs.
100%, man. Caleb Downs, look, it's hard to find players who are 3-year starters from day one at Alabama and then Ohio State. And even if they are starters, it's hard to find them that are as good as Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs, there's not a flaw really to his game. If I was to give him like some really nitpicky stuff, sometimes he can over pursue, sometimes he can be over aggressive. Very nitpicky stuff. He's got good length, good size, good productivity, good sound tackler, is a playmaker. Look, I think every single year he's been great, from his freshman year at Alabama to the 2 years at Ohio State. It's not even the fact he's gotten better year in and year out. He came into Alabama as the best safety in college football, and he's leaving college football the best safety in college football. He enters into he could have been, and I mean this no hyperbole at all, had he entered the draft after that freshman year at Alabama, probably is a first-round pick, and he would probably still be an incredible prospect at safety. So really no issues to his game, sound and coverage, good technique. And I know for, obviously, this is a Commanders channel, I know there's a lot of buzz about Caleb Downs going to the Washington Commanders. And look, it's a deep safety class, so it's not like you have to go Caleb Downs. If Downs is there, though, I would heavily consider it because he is a difference maker. And for what Dan Kuhn wants to do and for what this new DC wants to do, I'm sure they would love to have a guy on the back end that commands everyone's respect and does the things and is the playmaker that Downs is.
I agree. I've said this here. I've said this on the Burgundy Breakdown. If Bain and Bailey are gone, who I want an edge rusher at 7, but that's neither here nor there, and Downs is there, and they make the selection, you will hear no complaints from me, no complaints from probably 90% of Commanders country, because he's going to be your Quan Martin replacement. He's going to take the one spot away from Will Harris. He's going to make sure Revo and Tyler Owens don't see the field as much as they normally do. And he immediately becomes your signal caller in the defensive backfield. Like, without hesitation, you put green dot on 2 and you let it ride.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times when you think of a safety, think of somebody that plays deep, right? They're the third level to your defense. This is somebody that you can put anywhere. Put him in the nickel, put him in the strong safety position, put him in the box close to linebackers, play him deep. He's very much versatile to the same way that a Brian Branch is for Detroit, where Brian Branch can play strong safety, can play free safety, can play in the nickel. You can put him one-on-one with tight ends. He can handle their physicality. He can handle the speed of a speedy receiver like a Jalen Waddle. That's the skill set of Caleb Downs. I mean, there's not a prospect in this class in the safety position that is as clean and is as good as Caleb Downs. And especially when you look at his resume, playing in the SEC, dominating, playing in the Big Ten, dominating. It's not really that close to me.
Yeah. If I had to, compare him, but not, I'm gonna compare him to someone that we just saw this season in Atlanta play that should be consideration for defensive rookie of the year. It'd be Xavier Watts. He's probably better than Watts coming out of Notre Dame.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah. And I loved Watts. Like, I would have taken him.
Last year it was Malachi Starks, Watts, and there was a handful of other guys. Caleb Downs, since his freshman season, was the best safety in college football. He would have been the number one safety taken in 23, 24, and for sure in 25. Or 24, 25, 26. You get my point.
Yeah. Look, I don't think any franchise would be mad at taking Downs wherever they go. If KC took him, immediate day one. If Cincinnati took him, it turns over that defense. Like, you can't go wrong taking Caleb Downs. Now, given the right DC, people were saying Derwin James, Brian Branch, you were saying, given the right DC, he's going to be something real quick, and it won't even take all that much coaching either.
No, because, again, he's been doing this since his freshman year with Nick Saban, and then transferring over to Ohio State with Ryan Day, with different defensive coordinators, right? He's been in different schemes. And look, I mean, with Dan Quinn, obviously, in his days in Seattle, you had Earl Thomas, you had Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor put into one body.
Yeah.
Just not as physical as Cam. But skill set wise, being able to play close to the line of scrimmage and being able to play deep, he's of that level. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if in year one, he's a Pro Bowler, and within 2-3 years of being in the league, he's an all-pro guy. Right, he's my number 2 ranked player on my big board. Most people have him number 1. I don't disagree with them. He is that freaking good.
There is a conversation. The safety I'm gonna pivot to next, only because in the recent mock drafts they've seen him go in the first round between Chicago and New England. It's Oregon's Dillon Thieneman.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I've seen a mock draft or two take him around like that Chicago pick, and I'm like, ooh, different name. I don't hate it though.
I don't hate either. I mean, we were talking about this prior to hopping on and actually recording. The NFL, this year's NFL draft, after you get the first 15 guys, maybe 15, 17, or somewhere around that range, right? It's kind of this big mix and bag of guys that are all really good players, but not quite your typical first rounder, right? You're talking like Dillon Thieneman is in that mix. Some of these other safeties we're talking about are in that mix. So I don't hate it, man. I mean, Dillon has a lot of things going for him. He is just so sound in coverage technically. He's a good athlete. He's got some good range to him. Really, the only thing I have issues with him is he's got some tape where he takes bad angles, and there are moments where he triggers a little bit too early. But I think he's got the good enough size, the good enough range, and he's such a smart football player that, and we're going to talk about another guy here soon that's also kind of this mold. Dillon is, to me, not a first rounder. I would question that one because I think there's more talented safeties for sure.
Right.
But if you're looking for like, hey, this guy's going to be a starter on your team and be an impactful player for multiple seasons, Dillon very well could be that type of guy because he's got everything going for him. He's not of the caliber of a Caleb Downs because nobody else in this class is in the safety room, but he's up there, right? He's a really good safety prospect. And it's not just, I hear sometimes that people say, oh, he's only a second round pick because this is a weaker draft class. It's not really true. If he had come out in 2024, 2023, he's probably still a day 2 pick. So in this draft class, if you need a safety, especially one that can play deep, can play a little bit close to the line of scrimmage, I don't hate Dillon Thieneman at all.
No, I think, I mean, everyone's going to make the joke. I've made it. We all, this is the safety room that is the rise of the white DBs, him, Taaffe, Texas Tech, Cole. Like, there's 3 guys right there, and I'm not even scratching the surface. Like, it's hilarious. But when they're all this athletic, and he's from Indiana, went to Oregon, it's like, how do you just not look at him like, doesn't make sense? But it's hilariously doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and he is also one of these guys that is a 3-year guy. Started off at Purdue, started basically immediately, was great at Purdue, played another year there. Was good in his second year, but maybe took a smaller step back. Still was great. transfers to Oregon, plays with a more talented team around him. Obviously, Oregon has a number of guys that are going to be drafted super high. And he took a big step forward. I thought in the game versus Indiana, that is the one game to me. And he had some games earlier in the season where he was a little bit just kind of hit or miss. That game versus Indiana was kind of the second game specifically, because I thought in the first game he was pretty good. The second game versus Indiana, he had some reps that was kind of like, oh, what happened there? You know what? You're usually really good at this. You missed this tackle. Right. You missed this play. You were late on this assignment in coverage. You let up a 15-yard gain here and there. But at the same time, everybody has a bad day. And I'm not going to sit here and nitpick a player and say, oh, you were bad versus Indiana. And he wasn't bad, but you were not good against Indiana. So now you went from a second-round pick to a fifth-round pick. I see that way too often. You see it with the Senior Bowl right now where dude has a great Senior Bowl. All of a sudden, he moves into a first-round pick. When you watch the film, he's probably a third-round pick, right? So don't overreact, but you also don't want to underreact either, right? Just kind of you got to find the little middle there. And Dillon, I don't think you overthink it. I think if he's available in day 2 and you need a safety, run that pick in.
I agree. I mean, granted, that second Indiana-Oregon game, Oregon couldn't do anything.
No, it did not matter who you were, 4-year veteran, 5-year veteran. I don't care. Dante Moore, no, everyone got cooked that day. Indiana won the national championship for a reason.
Yep. I have a Hoosiers Champs shirt coming in real soon. So if they see this on the channel, no, I'm not an Indiana fan, but I'm a graphic designer, so I liked this shirt. I'm like, I'm just getting this purely because the shirt looks nice.
Hell yeah.
I put that out there now.
Look, I'm not an Indiana fan either, but they're easy to root for. They just are.
They're easy to root for.
Anytime you get a football team that's that disciplined, that plays that fundamentally sound, it just makes football a lot more fun to watch.
I agree. The other safety that is probably if you're talking your top 3, you're probably swatching Thieneman for A.J. Haulcy out of LSU.
100%. Yeah, AJ is a really good football player. I like him close to the line of scrimmage. I just think he works so well when he can read and react instead of playing deeper where it takes more time and he has to be a bit more patient. I think he can work either way though. He's a big dude, 6 foot 220. He's not a 6 foot 210 guy, 6 foot 200 guy. Like of all the safeties I think we're going to talk about, he's the heaviest guy. Now we'll see at the combine and Senior Bowl if he's there, what his exact measurables are. But in terms of a weight perspective, he's one of the bigger guys. I think with this guy, he is really good at anticipating routes. He's really good in zone coverage, got good ball skills. He plays the intensity and fire that you love to see. And but he has some issues though. I think in man coverage, which kind of concerns me because when you go up against those tight ends, you're going to be most often in man. But I think he has the size to match up with them. Like he's not going to get bullied off a route. We'll talk about a guy a little bit later who's at the Senior Bowl who is so undersized he gets pushed around by tight ends. Not going to really see that with AJ Haulcy. He's a big, strong dude, and it shows on tape. I think change of direction speed is just okay. And again, I think he's more of a strong safety than a free safety. He can play free safety, of course. Every safety can do it. I think he's much better when he's close to the line of scrimmage and he can make plays, within, 10 yards or so. With that said, I don't know if he's a first rounder. I do think he's a really good and great second round pick. Again, another one of these safeties in this class that you probably won't take round 1, but you'll definitely consider in round 2. So yeah, AJ Haulcy, he's my safety number 3 in this class.
Fair. Yeah, I've seen people go Downs, Haulcy, Thieneman, Downs, Thieneman, Haulcy. I'm like 2 and 3 are kind of in that spot of there's a good argument for both. I have a safety I like a little bit more that we'll touch on here in a second as my number 2, but it's purely because of how I'm ranking my prospects based on who I like versus who I know we're going to get. My board's a little funky, but everyone has their own big boards. Haulcy I do like. The Commanders definitely won't be in a spot to take him. But if someone, who's in that top? Like if the Titans took him at 35, 36, I'm going, yeah, there's your there's your big guy in that secondary because it's literally him. I couldn't name you a Titans DB right now. Couldn't do it.
I think a team to look out for now it's gonna be based on if Dallas were to trade back. Dallas has 2 safety needs. You got Hooker who can play a little bit deep. Donovan Wilson's trash. He's not good. AJ Haulcy instantly steps in there, can fill that role, especially if Dallas were to trade back. Now, the question will be who's trading up. Maybe it's for Ty Simpson. We'll see about that one. But, yeah, I mean, look, there's not a team out there that wouldn't love to have AJ Haulcy. Even if you have a good safety, if you say, hey, you want to have AJ Haulcy, they'll say, yeah, why not? I'd love to have him. I think Chicago, depending on what happens with Jaquan Brisker, if he decides to leave in free agency, plug and play AJ Haulcy, he can step in immediately. Yeah, he's an instant contributor, and he was really good for LSU, man. Had a really productive year.
Yeah, he did. And I'm gonna do it now because I think this is kind of where he goes right after these guys. My safety too, but it's purely based on what my commander's needs and positional rank is. I started off screen with my group chat calling him EMP, but it's EMW, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren.
I love Emmanuel McNeil. He was my number 2 as well. So we're in the same boat here. Now, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I have heard some first round buzz for. I still like him as a day 2 pick. Yep. I don't think there's a safety in this class not named Caleb Downs that should go round 1. But if one were to, I wouldn't be pissed about it. If there was, I think Emmanuel could be that guy. He's a big dude, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's another one of these guys I think is much better close to the line of scrimmage than he is deep. I think he's excellent deep. I think he's got good cover skills. He just has the occasional rep where it's like he's still improving in that category.
Yeah.
When he's close to the line of scrimmage, though, boy, he runs like a bat out of hell. I mean, he moves around so quickly. He's such a well put together player with long arms, lengthy, good tackler, good ball productivity. I think he's one of the better run defenders of this safety class. He's not the fastest dude in the world, but I think he's fast enough. And again, I like him close to the line of scrimmage because I think he can just be put over the slot. I think you could put him deep. I think you can put him on the outside to cover a running back. You could put him against tight ends. He's got these super long, lengthy arms that it's like, I feel like if he were to line up against a tight end, he'd be tough to get separation from. Now, I'm interested to see if, and this was kind of the same conversation we had about Quinyon Mitchell coming out of college, the competition level step up, right? Toledo's a good football program. They don't play SEC opponents. They don't play Big Ten opponents. They don't even play mostly Big 12 opponents, right? It's a different ball game with better prospects. So he's dominating this lesser competition. Will that be able to translate to the NFL? We'll wait and see. I'm usually not somebody that, puts too much emphasis in that, but it's at least something you do want to bring up. But again, I like him just as much as AJ Haulcy close to the line of scrimmage. I do think McNeil-Warren has a bit higher of a ceiling, even though I think Haulcy is just really sound at what he does, and he's a bit stronger and bigger. I actually prefer my safeties to be around that 200 range, 205, 210 at most. Haulcy being 220 is heavy. Now, he moves well for that size, and there's plenty of teams that will love that extra bit of weight to him because they could say, hey, why not play weak side linebacker on this play? See how you can hold it up there. And I think he can hold up, especially on like boots, RPOs, play action. I think he'd be great in it. McNeil is a true safety. You're not going to put him at linebacker. You're going to have him play close to the line of scrimmage, play with his head on fire. I think it'll take a year for him to adjust to the NFL, but I think by year 2 or 3, I think he could be legit.
Yeah. He played 13 games this year, 8 for 2024, and then 14. So it's not like he has even injury concerns because I think having that one bad year in 2024, but even still in 8 games, 6 total missed tackles in only 8 games is crazy. Like the fact that he's had 21 missed tackles in a 3-year span is an outrageous thing as a safety because safety being the last line of defense, if you miss a tackle there, goes in for a score. Only having 20 in 3 years, I'm looking around at corners and I'm like, it's Downs, Dillon. That's really it. Everyone else is getting, shook here and there. You said secure tackler at 6'2", 200. Yep. He's wrapping someone up.
Yeah, and he's got those long extendo gadget arms. Just wraps around the legs, push them in the dirt. He's a really good football player. And earlier in the process, you didn't hear a ton about him because he wasn't playing for a big school. He's playing for Toledo, right? Let's be honest. I love watching film. I love watching tape. I don't wake up in the morning and say, let me go put on this Toledo film. I just don't do that, all right?
No.
But when you do eventually get to his film, you're like, oh, this is a top 50 player. This is a top 100 guy. He should be a day 2 pick. And now you're starting to see more people realize yeah, this guy's freaking awesome, man. He's a good
Mm-hmm.
football player. And I hope that when we get to the draft, people don't have this notion of like, oh, he's a safety from Toledo. What a wasted
Right.
pick. No, this guy's good, man. He's a good football player. Give him a year or two to adjust to the NFL and to the play speed, to the play strength, things like that. He could be a really good football player, man. Really good.
Me and Dante said the same thing about UConn's Skylar Bell. Is day 2 talent or day 1 talent, probably going day 2. Only reason he'll quote unquote fall is because of this, as I put, the small school syndrome.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with Skylar Bell is there's a number of receivers kind of in his mold, right?
Exactly.
So you have Skylar Bell, 6 foot 185. You have other guys like Casey Conception, 5'11, 190, Zachariah Branch, 5'10, 180, Deion Burks, 5'9, 180. Like they're Antonio Williams, Kevin Coleman, who's lighting up the
Omar Cooper Jr.
Omar Cooper Jr. Exactly. So, but in this class, I don't know. Like there's other players like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, but I don't know if there's players that are as lengthy as McNeil that have his skill set, right? So I think that there is a chance that people will bypass the Toledo bias, the small school bias. And I wouldn't be surprised if he were to go late round 1, early round 2, because I think he's that level of prospect.
I agree. If he fell a little bit to like 40s, I don't think that's as terrible as like if he went to 50, I'm going, ooh, something happened here. But if he went like 40, like 42, I'm going, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
No, and then there's also the positional value there too. Like safeties are just naturally going to fall a little bit more because you can find good safety play in day 3, and like you might find a really good safety in day 3, but Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is a better player than just a good player. He could be a great player, so that's why you take him day 2 or day 1, whichever one.
Or day 1. Hey, if Seattle took him here to replace or to give help in that secondary, I'm going, oh, LOB's coming back.
Yeah, he would fit the mold of what McDonald wants to do. The only thing I would say is they already have that guy in Nicky Monwari, right? That long, lengthy, rangy, plays in the box and play deep. Like that's what Monwari did. And by the way, I was not high on Monwari coming out of college. The second I saw him go to Seattle, I was like, nope, all pro.
Yep.
Mike McDonald's going to cook with this guy. I mean, I was like, it was such a switch for me. Because I was like, I just don't like this guy. I think he's good in coverage, but I don't trust him. This, and that. Second, I saw Seattle make the pick. I was like, throw it all away. This guy's going to be a freaking Pro Bowler. And we saw in his rookie year, that dude is a stud.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic to watch. I wanted him in Washington at 29, and again, when you saw him in Seattle, I went, oh, there's his Kyle Hamilton.
Yep, you're just like, he got one. He did it.
He got one. Damn it.
I'm surprised the NFL let that happen, to be honest with you. Like, I'm surprised teams weren't like, he has Seattle written all over him. Like, why don't we just take him here just to make sure he doesn't go there? Like, if I was the Rams, I would have done everything in my power to get that guy. Because it's just like, I know, like, you have to know McDonald's going to go for this guy. Like, that's his prototype. That's what he wants. Let me just snag him here. Even if we don't need a safety, I'm just going to cover our ass here.
Yeah.
Just in case.
But again, great for Emmanuel. And again, McNeil-Warren, if I don't want to say there's a comp being Emmanuel, but if there's someone similar enough, again, it's Emmanuel. The next prospect I'm not as high on because I like guys deeper in this draft class, but people love this kid out of USC, and I'm pulling him up real quick. It's Kamari Ramsey.
Yeah, man. Kamari Ramsey, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Played a lot of football for USC. What I find the most interesting about Ramsey is the way that he was utilized at USC. Let me tell you the numbers real quick. So he played a lot of safety in his earlier years. And then this past year, they moved him to almost a full-time slot guy, right? In years past, this is in 2024, 167 snaps in the box, 273 as a free safety, and 164 in the slot. This year, he had some injuries this year, so he wasn't 100%. But he played 103 in the box, 93 deep, and 250 in the slot. So they basically moved him, not full-time, but almost full-time over to the nickel. And I feel like that took away some of his superpowers. Like, I was very baffled by the decision that USC made. And there's a couple of decisions that USC makes I don't understand. That one was one of them, though, right? Because Kamari Ramsey's so good. Like, he is a smart football player.
He's good.
Instincts pop off the chart. He is so good at recognizing the play, excellent in off coverage. He's versatile. He's a good run defender. He has some cons. I don't know if he's the freakiest athlete in the world. He's not a great tackler, which another reason why I was confused why they put him close to the line of scrimmage. Because when you're in the slot, you're the very much somebody that has to set the edge. You're somebody that has to get dirty and physical. Kamari can hold his own, but that's not really what he's best at. I just thought he was better as a safety. And so when they put him out there at nickel, it was a little confusing to me. I like Kamari quite a bit. He is my fifth ranked safety this year. I actually like him a little bit more than Dillon Thieneman, although it's it's neck and neck for me. I just like the fact that he is a bit more physically gifted than Thieneman, and I think there's a higher ceiling to him as a player. He's just so good in man coverage, mirroring receivers. There are reps out there where he just pushed guys in the dirt. There's reps out there where guys cannot get a yard of separation on him. I think he is such a fluid mover. He can flip his hips and accelerate like, some of the best in the NFL. Good spatial awareness. Like there's not anything to me that is a massive red flag, but he did deal with some injuries. And the fact that USC did move him over to the slot, maybe they saw something I didn't see. So you got to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. The good news is you might be able to get him on a discount because of the fact that teams are going to sort of say, why did he play safety? And the fact that 2024 was better than 2025, you might look at him and say, okay, maybe now you're looking at a late day 2 pick instead of an early day 2 pick. And so now you're getting a potentially top 50 prospect at like 60 or at like 57. So you could get a bit of a premium value here if you have that third round pick. And I probably should have said like 70 or 80, but you get my point, right? If you have that third round pick and he falls to you, you're not mad at it. He's a good football player. I mean, there's a lot to like about this kid. I say kid, he's probably older than me. But yeah, I think good football player, did a lot of good things for USC, played in multiple positions. And I want to correct myself. He's actually my safety 4, and Dillon is my safety 5. Good player, really good player.
He is a good player.
He's been really good at the Senior Bowl too, by the way.
I was about to say, that's the reason I brought him up is the Senior Bowl is light. We talked about it off screen. This is probably the heaviest dose of defensive uprisers at a Senior Bowl I can remember in a few years.
Yeah. Like
every day it's 3 edge rushers, 2 tackles, 2 safeties, 2 corners, and every linebacker down there. It's like, could I draft them all? It's possible?
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I do like the fact that he has that versatility, though, where it's like he's had a full year at safety, or he's had multiple full years at safety. He's had a year now full-time basically in the slot. The biggest issue for Kamari, he misses a lot of tackles. That's it. That's one of the bigger issues with him. And of course, tackling is a very important thing in the NFL. If you can't tackle players, it's hard to draft you, especially like if you have a secondary that has a number of like these super lightweight players. Hate to keep going back to your guys' rival, but the Cowboys, they have a number of guys that are lightweight. Deron Bland, boy, he gets put in the dirt every single play. He's light. Savon Ravel, very lanky, not a big dude. He gets put in the dirt occasionally here and there. Malik Hooker, I would say he's an okay run defender. We'll see what happens to Donovan Wilson. I don't think Dallas would be a good fit for Ramsey because he's also one of these guys that is not a plus run defender, right? Mm-hmm. I think he's a willing participant in the run game. I think he tries. He just doesn't tackle well. And so Dallas would be a team that's like, no, you don't want this guy. For Washington, you already have a Mike Sanders still, who you can kind of play him wherever you want him to, play him inside, play him outside. But he's also really small. He's a small dude. Yeah. Right? He's a willing run defender. Size always wins in the NFL. Kamari's got good size to him, but he's going to get bullied out there in the run game because he's just not a good tackler, right? If he cleaned up his tackling percentage to like 5%,
we good.
He could be an early day 2 pick, but he misses so many tackles out there. It's so frustrating. And I thought it got a little bit better this year. I did think it wasn't as big of an issue, but he still missed. This year he was only played for a handful of games, but this year he did clean up the missed tackle rate. But the year prior, it was like 18%. It was nasty. Sorry, PFF had him at 20.8% missed tackle rate. Cleaned it up a little bit more this year. I still want to see that sample size continue to develop and see how it looks moving into next year. So good football prospect, good football player, and I would expect him to go day 2 as well.
I would agree. I'm gonna move to his teammate that'll probably go day 3. but I've seen some people like a little more, a little less. Because of his size and how small our secondary is, I wouldn't put him out here. But I wonder if he would do better for y'all. It would Bishop Fitzgerald.
Yeah, look, Bishop, USC is so frustrating because you watch their tape and it's just like, God, they're so talented, but they suck, right?
Yeah.
There's so many good players there. Why are they letting teams score 30 points on them? Bishop's a really interesting player. Again, you are right. He's a smaller dude, 5'11", around 200 pounds. And it shows up out there when you put him man-on-man versus tight ends. You put him man-on-man against bigger slot receivers. He gets beat often because he's just not big enough, right? Mm-hmm. That's one of his big issues. But, man, he is so sound technically in coverage. I think in man coverage, he is a good worker, right? He can mirror you well. I think in zone coverage, he's one of the best zone coverage players in this class. He has great anticipation. He can read routes perfectly. I believe he used to play quarterback in either high school or I don't know when, but he played quarterback in the past. So he knows, where he needs to be, where the quarterback's eyes are looking, and you can kind of tell that he knows, right? Good competitor, good productivity on the season. I think at USC, he had like 5 interceptions this year, something like that. So you're looking at a guy that can play deep and he can work. Now, the questions for him is going to be the fact that he is smaller. He's not really good in run defense because he is a lighter framed guy. He's only been at USC for 1 year. So we're talking about not having a ton of high level competition. He's played at NC State, which is a good program, bit of a step up, obviously, for USC. And he also has some knee injury issues that need to be checked out. So I like him as a deep free safety that ideally is that third level guy, because you don't really want him being a component of your run defense. Obviously, he's going to have to. He has to insert himself in there on the occasion. But I like him much more when you can put him out there in more obvious passing down situations because he's so sound in coverage and he attaches himself well to players. He plays so good in man. And I think in zone coverage, he is fantastic. So, yeah, I like this guy. I do agree he's more of a day 3 pick because in an ideal world, I think you could rotate him in to a safety trio. You have your 2 starters and you have Bishop. Bishop's more of your, if you want to do a 3 safety, if you want to run 3 safeties out there, if you want to have him on special teams, if you want to rotate him on more obvious passing downs. I almost wonder if maybe I don't know if you'd put him in the nickel. I guess if you have big outside corners and you're very big up front, you might be able to be okay with Bishop playing in the nickel, but I do much prefer him playing deep, letting him work down there and seeing if he can translate that interception productivity to the NFL.
Yeah, he's very much more just like a deep safety look. Like I said, if you're running a 3-3-5, 3-3-5, or if you do a 5-3-3 for whatever reason, you can make it work. Again, don't know if I'm doing nickel because he's primarily played deep his whole career with a few occasional, spots in the box. Probably starts, and I don't mean this as a shot to anybody, probably starts special teams, but then rotates into the secondary. I don't even have a great spot for him because you would need 2 outside safeties that are bigger.
I mean, I think there would be a number of teams interested in this guy.
Yeah.
He's really sound in coverage, right? He's a really good coverage safety, and that's what you're paying safeties to be, right? You don't, in an ideal world, your safeties have a clean jersey by the end of the game because they hopefully don't have to insert themselves in the run game. Hopefully your linebackers and defensive linemen can cover for him. But the reality of the world is you have to be involved in the run game. And if you're not going to be somebody that can trigger downhill, put a hitting on a dude and make them feel it, that's tough. And it's also tough when it's like you're going to get to the NFL and you're going to have to go out there and cover 6'5" Mark Andrews, right? You're going to have to go out there and cover an Isaiah Likely, a massive dude like Kyle Pitts. You might even have to have some reps out there where you're in man coverage with a Drake London. Like that just happens in the NFL. They say like zone coverage. Yeah, it's zone. At some point there's man principles in there. So you are going to be manned up on every single time you're out there, even if you are in zone against big dudes. And with him having the size limitations he has, and you also throw on the injury issues, you also throw on the fact that while he's a good football player, there are limitations to his game. That's why he's a day 3 pick, right? You can hype up the cover skills a ton because he's got the goods. But when it comes down to it, the game is a physical sport. And if you have a 6'2" safety prospect that has similar cover skills, I'm going to take the 6'2" guy because he's bigger.
Right.
He can handle more physicality. He can handle the Drake Londons of the world compared to Bishop, where it's like you're a little bit lighter. You know, there's some good things to your game, but you're a little bit lighter. And the other thing too is I don't know if special teams is really going to be great for him because he is like on special teams, you want athletes and you want guys that can get off blocks. I don't know if Bishop can do that as well as a 6'2", stronger, more physical safety. So I don't know. It's just some things to think about, but there will be a team out there that looks at his skill set, says, you know what, while he struggles at this and that, he flips his hips well. He's a good mover. He's got really elite productivity, and he's a playmaker. And you will see a team out there probably spend a third-round pick on this, not a third-round, a day 3 pick on this guy, and feel pretty happy about their decision.
Yeah. While we were talking, I was debating, well, based on his injuries, but then their injuries and depth, I wonder if he would fit a Dan Campbell defense.
Yeah, I mean, it would make some sense. Playing him deep. Again, when it comes to Detroit, I'm fearful of drafting any injury-prone player. If you ever do that as an injury, it scares me. Like Jermod McCoy, great football player. I'm not drafting him if I'm a Detroit Lions fan. He's coming off an ACL tear. I can't have a dude on my team that's going to get injured, right? Because it happens.
Makai Lemon, same thing.
Yeah, well, they don't need a Makai Lemon. They have that dude, not Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Or not Makai, Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, that Jordan Tyson would scare me just as much as Jermod McCoy. In fact, Jordan Tyson might scare me a little bit more because he is way more injury prone. Just feels like every year it's something with that guy. But no, I could see it a little bit with Detroit. I mean, again, there's a number of teams that would love his skill set. It's just a matter of how high do you take him? Because I think he's probably more of a day 3 guy. And I think that's where you feel comfortable with him.
Touche. Going back to probably late day 2, because you brought him up earlier. I like him early, or like 100 to 105, staying in and around this area, but going more up north. I'm talking Zakee Wheatley.
100%. 6'2", 200 pounds, is having a really good Senior Bowl. Measurables are great. Played a lot of good football for Penn State. Number one thing you're going to see about this guy, instincts are off the chart. He's a playmaker, a ton of experience. He's really good in run against the run. He's sticky in coverage. He's a good athlete. Now, he struggles tackling consistency, right? For sure. There's some technique issues to his tackling. He is big enough, though, to where you give him a good DB coach. I think that could be shored up pretty quickly. I think he struggles in play action a lot. There is a lot of reps out there where you will see him bite on the play action heavy, and they boot out the other way, and you got to do a cross in his face. And it's like, shoot, I just missed the play up there. NFL loves play action. NFL loves RPO. They love playing games on those safeties. Bit of a concern for me. I don't think he's good in press, but he's a safety, so I'm not too worried about it. And I think, don't quote me on this, I think he's an older player. Let me see his exact age.
He's older than me. He is currently 23. He'll be 24 this time next month.
Yeah, he's a 5-year guy at Penn State. But I will say he's gotten better every single year. So, look, here's the thing. We've had this conversation on my channel, First and 10, with my other friends, and we talk about it over there. I tell them all the time, I'm like, unless you're 27, 28, I'm not too concerned about your age. Like Akeem Mesidor is tough because he's 25. By the time he gets that second contract, he's damn near 30, right?
Yeah.
I kind of draw a little bit of a line there. But if you are a team with a championship window, look at Los Angeles, look at Chicago, look at Dallas, look at, I don't know, any team that's trying to go for a title and they need a couple pieces to get themselves into that conversation, I'm okay with them taking an older player.
Right.
Because typically if you're an older player, you should be more technically sound. You should be able to be a plug and play guy immediately. And you should bring a level of maturity that instantly steps and works with your program. And that's kind of what I see with Zakee. He's been a multiple year starter for Penn State, big time school, played a lot of big time games, has been a productive player every single year he's been there. Even when he wasn't a full-time starter, when he was rotating in and out, has been productive. And you know what? I'll give him this too. 5 years at one school. You don't see that in college football anymore. You just don't.
No.
People transfer just after their freshman year when they didn't get a rep out there. And it's ridiculous. This guy, 5 years at one school, like he bleeds Penn State, and he played so well for that team. It's a shame that Penn State kind of sucked this year, but Zakee Wheatley had a great year. And I agree with you. I think he is a day 2 pick. And I think you can use him all over the field. Play him deep, play him in the box, play him a little bit in the slot. Like Penn State used him in a variety of ways. So he's got that versatility to where you feel confident playing him deep or closer to the line of scrimmage. I like him a bit more deep. And then if he can become maybe a bit bigger, maybe add a bit more weight to him, although he's 23, we'll see if he can put on a ton more weight. But if he can maybe add 5 more pounds to get to like 210 or so, that would be ideal. And then see if he can play a little bit better in the run game, then I would like him a lot as like a second round pick that fits almost every team out there. I mean, he's a really good football player. And for myself, like I have Zakee ranked, I think 6th on my board. Yeah, I have him 6th. And it's like him, Thieneman, Ramsey, even Haulcy, they're all within like 15 spots of each other. So it's like I can honestly go any way with those guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zakee is that 3rd or 4th safety off the board because he is bigger. He is taller, and he can handle guys a little bit more like tight ends, like big slots. So, yeah, I think Zakee is just a really good football player that I think checks off a ton of boxes.
Yeah, like PFF has him at 202, Draft Buzz has him at 201. So I think if he gets to that 205, 210, I mean, people are going to say that's a quote unquote lighter safety, but 210 is like a sweet spot of like not too heavy, not too light. You can still run, but I'm not going to expect you to deliver, an Ed Reed hit stick, but you're not going to get blown up by,
100%.
a Javante truck. Like there's a sweet spot. 210, 215, it's a good sweet spot for safeties. You get him there, I don't think you're going to have a worry getting him the right coach.
No, I do not disagree with you. I think there's a ton of schools out there that are going to look at this guy and they're going to say, you know what, he can play ball for us. He's a 2nd round, 3rd round pick, and he should be an instant starter and an instant contributor. I mean, Penn State, they produce safeties, so it feels like every other year, and they're all good. Zakee Wheatley is no different. He'll be a good football player. So, yeah, good player, man. I like him a lot.
I like him too. One guy that I like a tad bit more than others, and I'm not going to my guy just yet. I'm talking staying kind of in this day 2, late day 3. I'm going to suspect your Texas Longhorns. I'm talking Michael Taaffe.
Yeah, Michael Taaffe's a tough prospect to tackle because former walk-on, earned a scholarship for Texas, good dude. Everybody loves this guy. He is going to go to meetings and he's going to light up the room. That all said, he is small for the position. He is via PFF 6 foot 189. I don't know if he measured in at the Senior Bowl, but I would venture to say he's probably more like 5'11", 190. So he's not a big dude. He's a small dude. And there are reps out there where you can really feel that lack of size. You can really feel that he doesn't have the makeup to cover big tight ends, to cover big slots. That all said, he is very instinctual. He's a sound tackler. He makes a ton of plays on the ball. He's not a great athlete. He's not even, I would say he's for the NFL, an average to maybe even slightly below average athlete. But you're not going to play him close to the line of scrimmage. You're going to play him deep. You're going to play him on special teams. You're going to play him and just say, you're the smartest dude on this team. You'll be our team captain. That's why we're drafting you. We want you to turn up in our defense. You might not even be a starter, but you will be somebody that gets playing time, and you're going to be playing deep, and we want you to make plays out there. We want you to use your instincts, and that's what Michael Taaffe is. He's a walk-on, right? The reason why he was a walk-on is he was not a big dude. He's not an athletic dude. You look at him, if he takes off the helmet and the pads, and you saw him walking by you at the mall, you're not looking twice at him, right? You're like, oh, it's just dude probably works at Vans. Dude works at H&M. No, this dude's a ball player, man. He is an absolute baller. And look, I'm obviously maybe a little biased by my Texas flag here, but I think I'm pretty fair on him. He's my 10th ranked safety. I think he's more of a day 3 prospect because of the size. But one thing you cannot teach in football, well, you can teach it, but it's something that is very hard to teach. Awareness, IQ, instincts, play recognition. You can teach that stuff, but there are some guys who just get it, and Taaffe gets it. If Taaffe was 6'2", 205 pounds, and was maybe a bit faster, he's probably a day 2 pick, but he's so limited physically. And there was reps out there at the Senior Bowl, and I don't take a ton into the Senior Bowl, but I do like to, point here and there.
Keep track.
Where you can feel how small he is. is he just is
Yeah.
small. He's 5'10", 5'11", 189. That's not a big player. So again, exclusively deep in my opinion. Now he's a willing run defender too, by the way. He's not scared to get his nose dirty. He's a good tackler as well. He very technically sound player. But there's just physical limitations to him that are gonna, deter teams from taking him. But again, instincts, IQ, awareness, all that stuff. He's got the goods. He should be drafted. He will be drafted. I don't know if he's this super impactful Pro Bowl guy, but I think he can be a quality part of your team. There was a player in Cole Bishop who was at Utah, who you can kind of draw some comparisons to, because Bishop's taller. He's 6'2", but they're kind of similar-ish players where they're not the fastest guy, they're not the strongest guy, not the biggest guy, but they're just good ball players. I think Bishop has a higher ceiling than Taaffe, but I think you can kind of see some similarities between the two.
Yeah, and I liked Cole Bishop coming out of Utah too. I was like, "Ooh, Buffalo got him, nice."
Yeah, and he's a decent player from him. He gets the job done for sure.
Yeah, I agree. But, and he's doing was his second year and he has 3 picks,
something like that. I mean, he's never been a great run defender, and he gets kind of that game versus Baltimore to start the year off. Oof, rough stuff versus Derrick Henry, and that's like, hey, if Michael Taaffe is out there versus Baltimore, hey buddy, might want to sit out this game. You're gonna feel the 6'4", 230-pound monster that is Derrick Henry.
Yep.
But in coverage, though, that's where you're gonna get Taaffe. And again, he tries in run defense. He's smaller, but he is a physical player. So it's not like he's gonna run out there and avoid contact. Not really what he's gonna do. He's gonna give his hardest, but you would just prefer not to put him in those situations. And again, we talked about it with Bishop earlier. It's man on man, no matter what. Even when you're in zone, at some point it is man on man. And size sometimes does win in this game. So he is somebody that I wish was just like, could you double up on socks? Could you get that leg surgery to get a little taller?
Yeah. A few shoe lifts, but
yeah, man, because he's good. He's got the goods.
Yeah.
Man,
I think even
he's just built like the average Joe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said 6'2", 215. I even think if it was 6'1", 205, we'd be like,
yeah. If he was 6'1", 205, a bit stronger, a bit more athletic, a lot of ifs there. But if he was, I mean, that's a day 2 pick right there. But unfortunately, we don't know how it happens, but we're all made a bit differently.
Just slightly. Some of us are athletic. Some of us, like me in this seat, are not. It's unfortunate, but it is the way it is. I will just yap on this. It is what it is. I'll just yap on the microphone. One guy that it took me a second to get behind, but once I'm getting behind, I'm like, yep, taking him. We talk about size, 6'2", 204, plays out west. I'm talking the red, white, and blue, Genesis Smith.
Yeah, so Genesis, Arizona has a number of these DBs. They have a nickel, Traden Stukes, who's a bigger nickel, but is so good in coverage, like a really good football player. That's the same thing with Genesis. He's just a really good football player. 6'2", 200 pounds, good size, good length. Now he is lighter, but I do think he carries 204 well, right?
Yeah.
Him being lighter isn't a concern for me, like it might be. And by the way, I hear this comment a lot about, well, you said he's 6'2", 204, and he's tiny, but then you say this guy's 6'1", 200, and they're big. It's like, yeah, right. But that's different. There are guys hold weight differently. You look at a dude on the street, he could be 300 pounds and he looks 215.
Right.
Because people are just holding weight differently. But you look at another guy who's 300 pounds and he might be 400 pounds, right? So people carry weight just differently. And when I look at Genesis, he carries his weight a lot better. He's a little bit bigger. I would like to see him bulk up to about 210 if it's possible. But I feel like if he stays around 205 to 208, you feel good about him. He transitions well. He's got really good hips, smart player, good ball skills, good leadership at Arizona, multiple year guy there. He's versatile. He struggles in run defense. He struggles tackling. His physicality goes up and down, and his pursuit angles leave a bit to be desired. So I like him as a coverage guy. I like him in coverage. I think with his frame, you can play him on rundowns, but I would much prefer him to, in an ideal world, stay away from the run game as much as possible, but he is bigger. So I think there's a bit of a ceiling there for him to be serviceable in run defense. But in coverage, yeah, you can play him wherever. I mean, I'm looking at his numbers here. via PFF, 450 deep, 220 in the slot, 220 in the box, and then 90 in the slot. You can use him wherever. 3-year guy at Arizona, really a 2-year starter, played a lot his first year, and you can put him wherever, and he's going to work for you. So now, because he's not good against the run, I do think you're looking at probably a round 4 pick, probably round 4.
Yeah.
I think that's about where I see him going. But I think he's a tall, lengthy dude. And I think where you're seeing the safety position go to, where a lot of teams are looking for the Nicky Monwaris, the Kyle Hamiltons of the world, these versatile players that are tall and lengthy and can cover safeties. I wonder if maybe he might go higher, and maybe a team could convince themselves that he can kind of fill that role to an extent, right? And he's going to be used probably on special teams as well. And I think he would excel on those positions. So I wonder if he might go higher than other players. Like, I think, for example, like we talked a bit earlier about Dillon Thieneman. We talked a bit earlier about Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I think Warren's pretty safe here. But like Kamari Ramsey, some of these other guys we're going to talk about, I wouldn't be surprised if Genesis Smith goes a little bit higher than what we might be talking about, like middle round 3, early round 4, and actually ends up outplaying his draft pick, right? Yeah. If he's drafted round 4, he might end up being one of the better round 4 picks because I think he's just a really good ball player. So, yeah, I like this guy a lot. I think he's really good in coverage.
Yeah, I've been probably going around that 100, 110 kind of range. But if someone took him at 85, I'm not going to be like, I'm not saying you're taking a reach. I'm not saying you got to steal. I'm saying, all right, I understand the pick. You normally got to explain this one to me.
He's at 96 for me, so I'm a little higher on him. But yeah, if he goes 105, 100, yeah, sure, that checks a lot of boxes. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, if he goes 90, I'm going. Yep, I see it.
100%.
I see it. Because we took Luke McCaffrey at 100, and I went, why? He might just be in that territory of like, you can kind of take him late 3, early 4, and there's not a lot of discourse like, man, they reached. Because I think Luke was going to fall more.
No, I don't think you're going to see anyone mad at
nope.
I don't think you're going to see anybody mad if you take Genesis Smith. And if they are, I don't know what to tell you. He's a good football player.
You're nuts. You're out your damn mind.
Sometimes you just don't overthink it. If they're good in coverage and they're big, they should work in the NFL.
That's me. You mentioned trading Stukes. That's me with him at corner. I'm taking him. If I can get him at 145, I'm running to the plate. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love him.
No, I don't disagree. I do not disagree.
Love. I think they're going to depend if he's probably going to stay corner, but there might be a team in the league that takes him to say you're going to safety. I'm going. Kind of want to see this.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I do not disagree.
Either way, I love me some trading Stukes. That is a spoiler for a later video coming out probably later this February. It's my guy's list, and he's clearly on my list.
Absolutely,
I
love it.
There's no doubt about it.
I like him a lot too.
I love him. This next guy is I'm spoiling this video, so good thing I have extra co-hosts. It's also one of my guys. People who watch BIB 1, 2, and 3.0 mock drafts, I've taken him probably in 2 of the 3. Having a great Senior Bowl. I see him as a day 3, but I could see him rising his stock into round 4. And if I keep him in DC, we talked about him off stage. I love him in the burgundy and gold. Give me 22, Jalen Huskey.
Yeah, so Huskey, I like Huskey. I think that there's a lot to like about his game. Let me see his measurables real quick. He's a pretty well put together guy. He is
he's
6'2", 201 pounds. I think he's one of the better run defenders in this class. I love his versatility. Maryland used him all across the field. They had him playing in the slot. They had him playing deep. They had him playing in the box. I almost wonder if you draft him and just put him in the slot and just say that's where you're best suited to fit in. That's where we think you could play a long term. Because I think he can 100% go there. He's a solid athlete. He moves well. He's got good hips. I watched, unfortunately, my first tape of him this year was his game versus Rutgers, and he had a doozy. Ooh. He was struggling that one. But every single other game that I watched him, I ended up watching, I think, 4 of his games in preparation for this. And but the 3 other games I watched, I was like, this is a good player. Like he He moves well. He's a smart player. He's got good instincts. I like him a lot as a slot guy to me. I think he can for sure play safety, and you're going to move him around. Just because I think you're better in the slot does not mean you could play deep. Doesn't mean you can play in the box. You can use him wherever you want him.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost like the positional. I almost like the valuableness of that slot position and what he can present there because he is taller. I think he can handle bigger, more stronger, more physical guys because he's 200 pounds, but I think he carries his weight fairly well. Now, I'd like to see him bulk up a bit more, but I think he's a good enough athlete. And I mean, you're not kidding. He's playing well. He was at the Shrine Bowl and he made some plays out there that were good plays out there. And by the way, the Shrine Bowl was really fun this year. I wish I could have went to it. It's like right down the street for me, but I wish I could have went and watched it. But no, he's a good player. I think I kind of like him a bit more as a slot guy to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I think if you put him in the slot, he can ball. He can for sure ball.
I mean, he didn't play a whole lot of snaps in the slot this year either. Like we keep bringing the PFF alignment snaps, 349 deep, 211 in the box, 111 in the slot. I don't disagree with you him playing in the slot. I just I want to see it more, and unfortunately, we won't see that until he gets to the pro level. Yeah. But if we put him deep, I'm not saying there's a scarcity back there. I'm going, all right, a rookie can make some mistakes, but I'm not going to be sitting there saying, man, I got Quan Martin back. Man, it's an easy day for this wide receiver.
100%. I think for a team like specifically for Washington, you already have some answers in your secondary, right? You already have some guys that you feel good about. Having this guy that has that level of versatility to where you can kind of throw him wherever and just sort of say, all right, here you go. Do DC, Dan Quinn, figure out where you want him at. Because you have Sanders still. I think Trey Amos has a ton of talent. You have Will Harris, you have Quan Martin. Like you got things to work with here. Let's maybe add this guy as a day 3 pick and say, hey, we're going to try you at slot. If you suck there, cool. We'll put you deep. If you suck there, cool. We'll put you in the strong safety position. One of them is going to work. He'll work out somewhere. And again, you're not just going to stick him at one position. You'll move him around. He'll be a chess piece for you. Day 3 pick, not sure he's going to be an instant starter, but you just kind of figure out whether or not he works and where he's best suited at, and then let him compete for the job, right? Because you have other guys on your roster that have versatility. Mike Sanders still very versatile player. If he's better deep, then okay, we'll just keep Sanders still wherever he wants to be at. If he's really good in the nickel, then Sanders still can be full-time outside. That's kind of the uniqueness of a prospect like this that has the versatility that he has. And, watching some of his Shrine Bowl highlights, they had him kind of doing everything out there. And I like seeing that a lot. And I think you're going to see him if you were to watch whatever team he ends up going to, watching them at practice. I wouldn't be surprised if one day he's playing safety, the next day he's playing in second in the corner room. Again, for myself personally, I liked him. I think his skill set can translate very well to the nickel, but playing him deep, yeah, for sure. I think he can work there too.
Yeah. He probably won't be an immediate starter, but I don't think it's going to be a 2-year kind of project guy. I think you got to get him, refine the fewest things, pack on 5-6 more pounds. But I think if we're getting to, mid-season, week 10, and we're saying, hey, Huskey's in the lineup, I'm going, all right, I'm ready to see what he's got.
I don't disagree. Good player, man. Really good player. This whole club, there's good players. I feel like I keep saying that, but they're just good players. When we're getting these top 10 to top 15 guys, they're good ball players and they can play in the NFL. Maybe not as full-time starters, but as rotational pieces, depth pieces, some starting guys, some superstars. They're good players. That's what they are.
Yeah. The last guy I've got, and then we can always see if anybody you might want to touch on, is I think the tallest safety in this class, but is showing up at, once again, the Shrine Bowl down there. Out of Texas Tech, number 5, in Cole Wisniewski.
Yeah, Cole is 6'4". I think he's 218 pounds, something like that. So he's a big dude.
That's a 220.
220. I mean, that's a big dude. Obviously, multiple years at North Dakota State, transfers over to Texas Tech. Now, I want to say this when it comes to Cole. Tech had a crap ton of talent. David Bailey, what's his name? I'm blanking on the other edge rusher. Romello Height, Lee Hunter, Skylar Gill Howard, Jacob
Rodriguez.
You're playing behind a dang good defensive line, and there you got some guys in the secondary that are really good too. that always makes your job better. That's not to dismiss Cole, because Cole is a good player. He was great at North Dakota State, basically a 3 out of the 4-year starters there. Transferred to Texas Tech, a bit of an older player, was 5 years in college, but he's seen a lot of reps. I think he's one of the better players in run defense in this class because, I mean, he's 6'4", so he should be. He's of the size and length to where he's almost like an extra linebacker out there.
Yeah.
Where if you want to run out a jumbo lineup, Cole is great for that because he is good at getting downhill. He's good with his physicality. He's a sound tackler. He missed a couple of tackles this year, had 8 missed tackles, but he plays so often close to the line of scrimmage. He plays so often playing, around the box that, I mean, this year he played 250 snaps in the box. He played 450 deep. I mean, he just played a lot of football. Move him around. For me, I think because of his size, because of what he's best at, which is being physical in the run game, I like him more as a strong safety. I like him more, again, if you're looking to try somebody out for that Kyle Hamilton, Nicky Monroe role, he's got the size, he's got the length, he's got the physicality to handle himself in the box.
Yeah.
I don't mind spending a day 3 pick and just saying, let's try him in this position, see if it works. Worst case scenario, we got a really good special teams player. Like worst case scenario. Best case scenario, though, he can be a valuable part of our defense because he has the skills to play in a variety of ways. It's hard to find a 6'4", 220-pound safety that has good instincts, playmaker, really good running downhill, good sideline to sideline speed. I don't know. I'm not sure he's a day 2 pick. I think day 3 for sure, but I think he's a good player, man. I think he's really good.
Yeah, take him day 3 because I think I'm looking at around the rest of the safety. I think he's the second tallest safety behind. Oh, I just had him. Behind Kenan Daniels out of Oklahoma, who's 6'5", 240, that's just a linebacker. I'm sorry.
That is legitimately a linebacker.
I take it back. That's a tight end. Let's be honest. That's a tight end playing safety.
That's a big dude.
It's a big boy. But I'm gonna use your terminology. Him at 6'4", 220 plays like he's 210. Like he has not great speed, but for what he has, I've seen much worse. Much worse at his size. And again, you say strong safety, you want to play pseudo linebacker if you're doing a blitzing role, and you want someone that if you need to swat the ball, he's got the size. If you want someone to set the edge, he can do it. Definitely day 3, probably closer to a 5 or a 6 than I would say a 4th. But if a team said, "Hey, we're gonna use a 4th and grab him," I'm not gonna say that was a bad pick whatsoever because he just plays like 808 snaps in 2025, 688 in 2023. Like these are absurd numbers.
Yeah, he's on the field. That's the best thing you could say. He's on the field. He's making plays, and he's a big dude. Those things work in the NFL, man. We keep saying, "Oh, he's 6 foot 190. He's too small. This and that. Size wins in the NFL." There you go. 6'4" with good speed, good athleticism, good playmaking, good against the run. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes like early day 3, round 5, early, late round 4, or somewhere in that range. I wouldn't be too surprised if he went there. I just wouldn't be.
No, I'd be more shocked if we found him in the 6. I'm going, really?
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if he were to be in round 6, I would wonder if like teams have this flaw to his game, right? There's like something that we're missing that it's like, he just doesn't do this well, which is possible, but I don't know. I think that again, I would say round 4, round 5, with a team that has a plan that says you're a special teams guy. We'll see if we can find a role for you on defense. Right. You're going to look for that. You're going to look for those high swings on day 3. I think Cole could be one of those swings for sure.
Ironically enough, now that I think about it, his size, his speed, his school, he's, I think, just a bigger Tyler Owens.
Ooh.
Because Owens is 6'2", because Owens is 6'2", 6'3", and I think 218 when we got him at UDFA. So Cole also being Texas Tech. I mean, not identical, but I'm thinking like just the measurables wise, I'm thinking, oh wait, 6'2", 6'2", or 6'2", 6'5", 215, 220. Tyler is probably a better athlete, but I think Cole just has a better football IQ.
Yeah, Cole might be the better player between the two, and will probably be drafted
Yeah.
higher than both of them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean,
I can see it, though.
I mean, Rio said it when I had him on after the draft. If Tyler Owens is a creative player, like a prototypical safety, then Cole is just a basketball player with football pads.
Yeah, I like the comparison. Basketball player with good size, good length, and they always say like they always look for those tight ends that can just play like a basketball player getting a rebound in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Cole is what would be the term there? He'd be the guy that stops that, right? And if you're looking for those big tight ends, those 6'5", 6'6" tight ends, just say give them a chance in the red zone. Which, by the way, no teams do that. They always draft him, but never do that with them. It's silly. Like whenever I hear like Michael Trigg is the new one because he's so big and can do these crazy catches and it's so fun to watch. But it's like teams just don't do that. They just don't. So I don't really take too much stock into it. But if a team does do it, hey, Cole is the counter to it. He is the chess piece that says, nope, you ain't doing that.
I love it. Are there any guys that I clearly glossed over that you're like, man, we got to talk about him?
I'll talk about two guys just really briefly. Right. Bud Clark has been incredible at the Senior Bowl. Big time playmaker with good size. He could maybe put on a bit more weight, but he's so physical. He just runs out there, puts his body on the line. He has an energy to him that is just so fun to watch. He's a playmaker in the back end that has good versatility, good size, good speed. Could put on some weight, but again, I think he plays well for that size. He is very aggressive. Sometimes that aggressiveness hurts him. He will try to jump routes early. He's always trying to make plays in the football. But if you're a team like the New York Jets that had 0 interceptions this year, Bud Clark could very well be the guy that says, you know what? We're going to take this team to a different level. We're going to force turnovers. So Bud Clark is one of those guys. And then I also like Jalen Kilgore quite a bit. South Carolina, versatile player, good size, good length, solid enough athlete. They used him all across the field. You're going to see and draw some comparisons to Nick Emmanuel. I thought Emmanuel was significantly better, also bigger, handle physicality better. But I think Kilgore is a guy that I'd be willing to take a day 3 pick on. Probably not day 2. If so, like late round 3, but very much so like a 4th round guy that I would not be afraid to take that swing on because he's got so much upside and talent to where it's like, I think he could work in the NFL. I really do. I think he's got the explosiveness. I think in coverage, he gets better every single year. And I think he's a multiple year project that can get on the field early because of the size, 6'1", 211, because of the range, because of his ability to be put on special teams. But you're also going to want to kind of rein him in a little bit, right? Because he's not there yet all the way, but he's a good player. Lastly, I'll just say really quickly, Lewis Moore, Indiana safety, bit smaller, 5'11", 200 pounds. He's just a really sound technical player that makes plays out there. And it's going to, like, whenever you talk about Indiana, you kind of say the same things. Discipline, don't commit penalties, fundamentally sound, good athletes. Lewis Moore, good player, man.
Lewis Moore.
So, just want to bring those names up.
No, fair enough. Like, I knew I was going to miss a few people. Kilgore, for whatever reason, is listed as a corner on some sites. So I'm like,
Yeah, they kind of used him a lot in the slot. They used him deep. I mean, you can use him wherever. He's got the range, the athleticism, the size to where he can play as a nickel. You can use him as an outside corner. I like him just playing that Nicky Monwarrior role. I really do. Let him play wherever. Let him just kind of float around, cover tight ends, use that size and physicality to his advantage. I think that's where he's best suited at.
I would agree. Probably fits better as a safety than a cornerback because I was looking at stats. I'm like, I'm probably glossing over him as a corner, but if he plays safety, I think the game translates for him better as a safety than it does corner.
I agree.
And to your point, Bud Clark, clearly oversight on my part. I had him on my list, but I was like, oh wait, I got put on Huskey. I got put on Wisniewski. I was like, oh, Bud Clark got to come out. It's a bad idea. Having a great bowl down there.
He's probably the biggest secondary winner at the Senior Bowl right now because the Senior Bowl is tough for secondary, for the corners, for the DBs, because one-on-ones are very difficult. And the thing is, one-on-ones are some of the most overrated stuff ever in my opinion. Especially now, offensive line, defensive line, not so much. Receivers, corners, yes. Because there's a variety. Number one, and I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here. When a receiver lines up on a one-on-one, they line up on the outside. There's no tails for the corner. So it's a simple one-on-one rep. The receiver's going to win more often than the DB is going to win because they know what route they're going to run. When you get out there on the field, for starters, you have safety help, you have linebacker help, you have pressure being put on the quarterback, everything, right? You have guys, you might be in a double team, you have a bracket, you're playing a triangle cut, whatever, right? Yep. The other thing too, you can get tells when a team lines up because you're watching, film day after day after day. If a team lines up and they got, two tight ends set, one receiver here, one receiver there, oh, they're going to run one of these 5 plays, right? Or you're going to run one of these 3 routes. So I can set myself up to succeed against those routes. It doesn't happen like that. So these corners out there, like Chris Johnson, Colton Hood, they would have a few good reps, but they'd have reps where they'd get cooked out there. And it's like, don't take too much about that in the Senior Bowl because these guys don't really go through that in the NFL. They just don't. It's different. It's so different out there. Yeah. And so like Bud Clark doing what he has done to me makes it that much more impressive because he's looked good on one-on-ones. He's gotten interceptions in team drills. He's looked smooth in individual drills. Like that's the stuff you want to see. You want guys to separate themselves. And I thought Bud Clark did so by making plays on the football, constantly being around the football, constantly putting hits on dudes, constantly turning the ball over. If you can do that, you're going to help your case after the Senior Bowl.
I would agree. I wouldn't say, I'm trying to put the right words. I wouldn't say the Senior Bowl is overhyped and like overtaken.
I think,
but
it depends on the position and it depends on the level of dominance you had. TJ Parker, for example, dominance, and he's doing things that will translate to the NFL. But I'm not going to look at like Thaddeus Dixon from North Carolina, the corner.
Right.
He had a terrible day 2, just a rough day 2. Now he looked really good in day 3, so good for him. He bounced back big time. But I'm not going to really hurt his stock too much because especially in the secondary, safeties, and corners, it's just the Senior Bowl is not really built for you. Same with running backs. Like you're not going to learn a ton about running backs that you already don't know, right? You're going to learn about the trenches. You're going to learn about those linebackers, and you're going to learn about the guys that stand out from the other guys. If you're just kind of, if you had a good Senior Bowl, but not a great Senior Bowl, and you're playing the secondary, your stock's not going to hurt. It's also not going to help you that much. So,
right.
But I love the Senior Bowl. It's fun as hell to watch. I'll say that.
It's fun to watch. It's good to get names that like what's the wide receiver that everyone's talking about right now? I can see him in my head.
Tyron Montgomery.
Thank you.
John Carroll. Yeah.
Yep. Wasn't anywhere close to my boards. Now I'm like, I got work to do. Yep. I got research to do.
100%. Same with the Senior Bowl is great because you have these guys from schools that you're never going to watch. Charles Demings from Stephen F. Austin, good football player. He can play in the NFL. The center from Dartmouth, who had a rough time at the Senior Bowl, but I would never have known his name. So it's good to get him. The center from Kansas State, Hecht, had a pretty good time out there. And so it's like
I just looked at him for a draft.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't really like he was on my radar, but it wasn't like urgent. Like I was like, I'll get to him eventually when I get to him. After the Senior Bowl, I'm like, oh, he was really good out there. Let me go check his film and see maybe he's a top 10 center or something like that. So that's what the Senior Bowl is good at, just getting some names that you didn't even have. Like I updated my big board today and I got like 15 dudes I got to go watch because of the Senior Bowl. And I'm like, great. More film.
More film. Like, because you brought up that center, and then I was looking at Keyshawn James Newby, the edge out of New Mexico, the Lobos, and I'm like, who is this guy? I'm looking at stats like back-to-back 10-sack seasons, 5 sacks a year before, but also is a pure pass rusher. I'm like, 6'2", 244, it's a little undersized, but also you can make that work. Played against Michigan, played at UCLA, played Boise, played San Diego State. Like there's some schools that are like, he played big name competitions. I got work to do. I think the Senior Bowl is great for that. The East West Shrine Bowl great for that. I wouldn't, to your point, I wouldn't say that it's the stock's gonna go up and down regardless. Like if you have a really good, like Trayton Stukes, I already had him higher than most, but like this Senior Bowl did better for him than it's gonna do for some of these other safeties, like you said, but it's going to do great for Jacob Rodriguez,
Mm-hmm.
who I had a day 2 grade on, but could go second round now.
Yeah. No, 100%. I'm right there with you. Senior Bowl is great. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep.
By the way, been a lot of fun working on the safety video. Got some good names. Hopefully, Commanders fans now know which is the best for the team. Real quick, if I know Caleb Downs is the number one guy on your board. If you were to pick one guy not named Caleb Downs to be a Commander by 2026/7, who would you most want?
Oh, there's 2 names, but I'm gonna go in order based on where they're gonna go. It's McNeil-Warren. It's EMP, EMW.
Yep.
Like size, speed, coverage ability. Some of the stuff he has, you touched on earlier, you just can't teach.
Mm-hmm.
And I need that. Now Toledo, yes, but like I do not care about his thinner frame. You put some size on him, I got no worries. And then we just finished talking about him a couple minutes ago in Jalen Huskey. Give me the local kid, good size, a turnover machine at safety, 4 interceptions this year for Maryland. And you're not talking about Maryland like you're talking about Ohio State or even, Oregon. I would say if I'm in day 3 and 145 comes and he's right there, I'm going him right over there. Bring him 20 miles down the road to DC.
100%. I like the idea of Emmanuel McNeil-Warren there. I think he just checks a number of boxes, gives them some size, some length, somebody that can be physical against the run. I think he checks the boxes for Washington. So, yeah, love it.
I agree. Who would be, besides Caleb Downs? I'm going to ask the same question. Who would you want in Dallas not named Caleb Downs?
Oof.
Because you need a lot.
Yeah, I need a lot. I'm going to say I love the idea of Zakee Wheatley because, and that's more of like a pipe dream. I hope he would make it to round 4 to them. If he can get there, that'd be sweet. Probably won't. He's probably the 3rd round pick. But if he did make it to round 4, I think that'd be awesome. Just he would be a plug and play guy and an instant contributor. I also love the idea of Genesis Smith in that round 4 spot. Because my guess for what they're going to do is they're going to take a linebacker and a corner with their 2 firsts, unless they can trade back and pick up a 3rd or a 2nd. But I think it's going to be Mansour Delane and like Anthony Hill. Those are my guesses for their first 2 picks. And then I think round 4, they're going to try and get a safety. And with the way the board will hopefully fall, I hope for them, Zakee or Kamari falls to them. Kind of doubt it. I think Genesis Smith could be somebody they could go for, because I'm okay with him being an average run defender because they already have a number of good run defenders as is, and you add on potentially an Anthony Hill or CJ Allen that are good run defenders, so I can kind of feel okay about Genesis being this versatile safety. There was a player on our team when we were there with Dan Quinn, and I'm blanking on his name. He was a tall, lengthy, kind of played the pseudo Kyle Hamilton role. I'm not going to be able to remember his name. He wore, I think, 27 for us.
Jaron Curse?
Yeah. I think that's who it was. He was there for a few years. Yes, you're right. Jaron Curse. I could see somebody like Genesis kind of filling a similar role. Same with like a Cole. If he were to make it to like round 5 and Dallas were to take him, I could see Dallas trying to work with that. But I'm also interested to see, because they have the new defensive coordinator from Philly that I think is going to try and fix the secondary, corner, safeties,
start there,
probably a linebacker too. So it'll be interesting though. But yeah, I think Dallas could use any of these safeties. Like legitimately, they need probably 2 starters right now.
I would agree. We need at least one. But yeah, between the holes you guys have, and it's not just edge rusher, it's legitimately your back 7. It's like if you got to go linebacker, secondary.
Yep.
Maybe throw another receiver in there, because unless you're tagging George Pickens, you're probably losing George Pickens. But yeah, I do. It's probably gonna go corner linebacker or linebacker corner for you guys at 12 and 20. It just whoever you like. Ironically enough, I did this with Jordan Tucker. We went Sonny Styles and then Avion Terrell for you guys.
Wouldn't be mad at it. I think I'm not the biggest Styles fan for Dallas, because I think Dallas needs a strong more stout versus the run guy. Styles to me fits better as that weak side linebacker, and you already kind of have that with DeMarvion Overshown, who is lengthy, fast, more of a weak side guy. I like the idea of pairing him with CJ Allen or Anthony Hill. These bigger, more physical, can get off blocks, take good angles, smart players. And Sonny Styles is smart. He does everything well too. If Dallas takes him, you're not going to hear, you hopefully will not hear anybody complaining because he's a great football player, and Dallas just needs good football players. But I like the idea of going Mansour because they have to get a corner. They just have to. One good, strong corner. And I like Jermod and I like Mansour there. And then linebacker with their second pick. It's a deep linebacker class too, like really deep. There's a lot of good depth in this position, but Dallas doesn't have a second or a third. So you might have to reach on an Anthony Hill, who's a good ball player, probably not the 20th best player, but you have to kind of reach because you only have your first and your 2 first and a couple day 3 picks.
Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't call Hill a reach at 20, but if you got Hill or Allen, everyone's probably going,
I'm very high on Hill. I have Hill above CJ Allen. I have Hill. Where do I have Hill? And I know people are, might say, oh, Texas bias. No, I just think he's a better player. I have Hill at 19, and I have CJ Allen at 21. It's like, you can get me either way. I just think Anthony Hill is better in coverage than CJ.
I agree.
But I think CJ is maybe a little bit better against the run, but it's still really close.
Yeah, it's legitimately like what does Christian Parker want? Does he want run support or does he want a pure linebacker? It's you can't go wrong. It depends on what he wants that defense to look like. And I love me some DeMarvion Overshown coming out of Texas. Just can't stay healthy to save his life.
Yeah,
that's the one nitpick.
That is the nitpick with him. But I'm hopeful that he was healthy the rest of the year last year. Hopefully, you can have the full offseason where he stays healthy. And then I'm hoping that you add a big, strong, physical, run-stuffing linebacker to where he can stay and just kind of float over the top, right? You have Anthony Hill, CJ Allen, putting people in the dirt, getting physical, being nasty, taking the bruises and scratches. You have DeMarvion flowing over the top. And, of course, he'll have to get his nose dirty every play too, but hopefully he doesn't have to eat as much contact, and he can hopefully stay healthy the full season. But he's got to put it all together, from a health perspective, because when he is healthy, he's a dang good player. You see him on film, he is all over the screen. But he's got to stay healthy, because if he's not healthy, Dallas's defense will not be what they need to be to go on the run they want to go on. So, but it will be fascinating for sure.
It'll be fun. But this was an absolute blast. Appreciate you coming on. A little bit of the app session from my part, but tend to do that. But again, always great having you on.
100%. Appreciate you guys for having me on. We did the defensive tackle video. That was a fun one. We did some safety videos. These videos are good for me because, like, I watch the top 10 guys, but sometimes you'll throw a name at me like Jalen Huskey. So it's like I know everybody here but Huskey, and I just kind of get to his tape. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's a good player. Same with the Texas Tech guy. I'm not going to pronounce his last name, Cole. And Cole. I was like, I watched a couple games of it. I thought it was good, but I get to sort of get myself back into his game. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, instead of being the 50th best safety on my board, now he's the 13th or 14th best. So it's good to kind of update your boards and get some names that you haven't really watched a ton of.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, we talked about the Senior Bowl, the East-West Shrine Bowl, the Reese's Cup Bowl, or the Reese's Senior Bowl. It's hard to keep track with these names.
Yeah, Panini, Reese's, who knows at this point.
Oh, God, it is Panini now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
used to be Reese's. I wish it was still Reese's.
Hey, I think one of these should be the Pop-Tarts Bowl, but you know what? That is like something for the committee, which they'll never do.
They can't do anything right.
No, not at all. But no, again, always great having you on, guys. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button here on your way out. Go subscribe to Metro Sports and First 10. They're doing great content over at First 10, and Josh is doing fantastic work over at Metro Sports. So go give him a follow, go give him a like, go give him a subscribe. On our way out, like, subscribe here to BIB. Road to 1,000. We're 90 away. Probably gonna do a giveaway when we hit 1,000. I've got some contacts. I can get me a few good pieces, but we won't know, and I won't tell until we get to 1,000. The draft is like 90 something days away. No, 90? 85 days away, I think.
Sounds about right.
This will come out on the January 30th. This comes out. Yeah, I'm gonna call it 85. Y'all can tell me in the comments how John doesn't do math, and that's a-okay. I'm not a math major. I didn't want to be one whatsoever. But until then, guys, and just enjoy this offseason process. Let's enjoy what Durante Jones and David Blau does. Dallas fans, enjoy what Shoddy and Christian Parker does. Raise hail, whatever Dallas does. But until then, guys, we'll see y'all later. We are out.